Welcome to Miriam's Do-It-Yourself Tech Support. Watch, learn, resolve.
In this video, we're going to demonstrate the filling of a Cryocycle 2, the latest generation of the Cryocycle product. The method that we're going to use this morning is to fill it using a nitrogen transfer device. This one happens to be a D50 Dewar. There are other options that we could use to fill this, being a larger storage container up to 160 liters, or a D30, which is a smaller vessel. What's critical is that we not exceed 5 pounds per square inch filling pressure. That's because of the material that we use to fabricate the RTV collar from, the silicone rubber. We don't want to freeze or damage that in the process. The D50 in this example, as you can see, the Dewar and the transfer device, there's a pressure indicator on it, which will show that there's a maximum pressure here of 5 psi. I'd like to point out a couple additional safety features or requirements when we're working with such a pressure filling device. Really, it goes back to the time that you're filling this with the NTD device out of the Dewar. You've filled the Dewar. To properly install this device, you would press the nitrogen transfer device into the Dewar and then tighten the handle by hand until it's snug. I recommend that you take a wrench and do an additional turn to make sure that the plug is securely installed in the Dewar. The other thing is to make sure that the safety cable, which is tethered to the nitrogen transfer device, loops around one of the handles and is anchored securely. You'll see an eyelet on the nitrogen transfer device that you want to make sure grabs the cable and holds it in place. Next, given that the fill device is ready to use, we want to make our interconnections between the transfer device and the Cryocycle. The RTV collar on the Cryocycle has 3 ports on it. One will be used for filling, one will be used for venting, and a third cap is used for relieving the pressure in the Dewar if, say, the Dewar was already filled with liquid nitrogen and you wanted to top it off. Anytime that you go into the Dewar, you would want to remove this cap first to relieve any pressure that's built up. That would prevent the forceful discharge of liquid nitrogen through one of the fill vent ports, because it's closer to the level of the liquid nitrogen and can actually grab the liquid nitrogen and expel it. The pressure relief port is in that space above the level of liquid nitrogen where you can't eject any liquid nitrogen from. So I'm going to remove the silicone cap from the RTV collar on both sides. I'm going to connect a single line to the vent side and then just point it away so that you couldn't possibly be splashed with liquid nitrogen. I'm going to take the fill line and attach it to the fill side of the RTV collar. So we're ready to start the process of filling the Cryocycle 2. What we'll do is, in order to make sure that we're filling it to the correct level, we're going to be observing the LED panel, the LED indicators on the front panel to watch where the level is. There's actually a capacitance probe inside the Cryocycle, and it will be a direct monitor of the level as it rises inside the Dewar. To activate the front panel, the unit has to be plugged into a source of AC, and we move the rocker switch to the on position. It'll take a few moments. You hear the fan turn on, and then you have an underfill indicator, a low-level indicator showing you right now where the level is. In this particular fill example, we're going to be filling a warm and empty Cryocycle. with a warm detector. When working with liquid nitrogen, we recommend that you use personal protective equipment, including not wearing open-toed shoes, wearing closed-toed shoes with pants that cover the shoe. This is an insulated apron to prevent or to make sure that you don't get splashed with liquid nitrogen and potentially burn the chest area. We have a safety face shield, full face shield. Also, highly recommend safety glasses with side shields and insulated gloves. We'll put on the face shield, the insulated gloves, and close the face shield. And at that point, we'll be ready to open the valve on the liquid nitrogen transfer device. Just as a footnote before we actually start the fill process, there is an alarm on the Cryocycle. The alarm has a mute switch on the front panel. Right now it's in the muted state. It will alarm under different conditions. The user manual does describe all the times that an alarm condition would exist. In this case, because we have no liquid in the door and there's no pressure, it would be alarming for two different reasons. For this demonstration, we're going to keep the alarm switch in the muted position. We're now ready to begin the fill process. I'm going to make sure my face shield is in place. My safety gear is all in order. And here we go. Okay. Because we're filling a warm and empty dewar with a warm detector, the fill time is a little bit longer than if we were starting with a dewar that actually had liquid in it and everything was cold. So depending on the size of the detector, this could take, say, 15 minutes or so, give or take, before we're actually filled. During the process, we're going to be observing the LED indicators on the front panel. You can see it flashing red still, noting an underfill condition. As the level increases, the LEDs will start to change state. From the bottom up, you'll start to see the indicators turn green. So you'll notice as the fill process proceeds that both hoses will become frozen. You'll see snow or ice form on the hoses. That's all normal. You'll also notice that you can see the gas as the cold gas escapes from the vent tube, that it's condensed with moisture as well. So during the fill process, we continue to monitor the liquid level indicator. So we've now reached 100% fill. We're going to turn off the transfer device. And at this point, we're just going to let it stabilize. We're going to let the detector cool and the liquid nitrogen dewar, the Cryocycle, come into equilibrium as they cool. This will take approximately 12 hours, given that we want the detector in a fully cold state, as well as the Cryocycle to be settled and all liquid nitrogen boil off minimized. So we're at a point where the detector and the Cryocycle have been allowed to cool for an extended period of time, and we can see that the liquid level has indeed dropped. At this point, it's only about 80%, so it really won't take that long to top off. But what we'll do is we'll top it off, we'll bring it to the 100% fill mark, and then we'll be able to let the tubes warm up, and then we'll be able to cap it off to let the dewar start to pressurize. So here we go, we're going to finish topping off the dewar. The level just reached 100%. We're going to let it go for a very short period longer, maybe 15, 30 seconds, and then we'll turn it off. So as you can see, the liquid level, the liquid is off. The highest level of the LEDs is an overfill condition. Right now we're in the yellow. It's illuminating with a yellow LED. If you were to continue to let this fill, there's a next level of overfill. You would see a red flashing LED. Right now the yellow LED indicates we're good. All we need to do now is let the latex hoses thaw. Once they're thawed, we can remove them and put the silicone caps back on the unit. So the latex tubes thawed enough, we're able to put the silicone caps back on the fill vent tubes. This will enable the system to begin self-pressurizing. With the caps installed, the system will self-pressurize, and at 1 psi, the cryocycle will start. If you're filling a Cryocycle One instead of a Cryocycle Two, the difference is that we only have the only way that we can tell that the dewar is full of liquid nitrogen is to see the liquid actually flowing out of the vent tube at the point that it's full. So we would start the fill process just like we would a Cryocycle Two. As you can see, the liquid nitrogen is flowing out the vent tube. The liquid is literally flowing out. At this point, the dewar is full. We don't need to continue letting liquid into the system. We can turn it off now.
We hope you found this video instructional and useful. If you have further questions, Mirion is here to help. We offer a complete technical support staff, along with a fully trained group of field support engineers to support all your service needs. Please call 1-800-255-6370 for further assistance.